What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nintendo Land, and we are now officially in the season of Wave 5 as it releases next Wednesday, which is super exciting, giving us 8 brand new tracks, or really also returning tracks. But at the same time, we are almost at the very last wave. Yes, Wave 6 is going to be coming towards the end of this year, and it's going to be the last 8 tracks we get in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Well, that is if they don't add more, which I have a whole theory for later on, but today we're focusing on Wave 6, and I think with a lot of these tracks kind of down now, we have a better understanding as to what could be in that final wave. Of course, nothing's 100%. Based on my last Wave 5 prediction, I only missed 2, unfortunately. I didn't think they was going to put in Mewtwo Highway, another Wii track, and I was definitely thrown off by the placement of Vancouver Velocity. It just kind of felt like a wintertime track for me, but at the same time, we have lots of clues as to what this final wave could be. So if you're excited for Wave 6, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, as most of you guys watching this video right now are not yet subscribed. So stop what you're doing, it only takes a second, hit that like, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all things Mario Kart, but let's jump into the video. And before we get started, so I can explain why my picks are what they are, this data mine is still extremely accurate, and we know the slots of what games are left, and there's not a lot left. For instance, GBA Super Circuit is done. Mario Kart 64 is done. Mario Kart DS, sadly, is done, and so is Mario Kart Wii, sadly. And Mario Kart 7 is also finished as well. So we don't have a lot left. What we have left is 1 Super Mario Kart track, which is SNES, 2 GameCube Double Dash tracks, 2 Tour City tracks, and 3 brand new Nitro tracks. So yes, as you can tell, there are going to be a lot of tracks missing from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still, and a lot of those tracks are still going to be in Tour, which does make people believe that there could be another booster pass coming. You know, only time will tell, but we have to stick with what we have right now based on this data mine, and that's how we'll try to determine the remaining tracks. Now, before we go over each one, I'll tell you all the remaining tracks from that series so far, or that certain game, and talk about what is most likely, and then my ultimate prediction as to what is going to get in. Okay, now let's get started with the Super Acorn Cup. Coming in at number 1, of course, we're starting with a tour track, and I'm going Madrid. Madrid just makes a lot of sense. There is a code name that we can work with called Mob MD. It has the assets of tents, signs, and fences, which normally works for city tracks outside Piranha Plant Cove, so this could very well be one of the last city tracks that we get, as we don't have any other clue what the last one is going to be. But with MD, Madrid just kind of makes sense. I don't really know much about the city, so I don't know what great things that they could add to it. I believe there is some type of like Coliseum building or something in the middle of the city, but it's tons of buildings, so we don't really have a track that's just 100% buildings right now, so why not just have us go through buildings and stuff down the streets would be cool. But yeah, Madrid seems to fit that bill. So for the second track of the cup, I picked Dino Jungle from Mario Kart Double Dash. Now let's look at what we have left for Double Dash. We have Dino Jungle, Mushroom Bridge, DK Mountain, Peach Beach, Dry Desert, Mushroom City, Bowser's Castle, and Rainbow Road. Now, I know Rainbow Road, or really a lot of these actually are in Tour. Rainbow Road is, I believe, Dry Desert now is in, and so is Mushroom Bridge, and so is Dino Jungle. So really, it could be any of these. I don't think it's going to be another Rainbow Road, or I don't think it's going to be a Bowser's Castle. I don't think Mushroom City, we have enough cities by now, and I think the only opportunities it's going to be is going to be between Dino Jungle, Mushroom Bridge, and Dry Desert. I'm going Dino Jungle for this first one. I just think it makes sense. It is one that's starting to come back over and over and over again. We saw it in Double Dash, Mario Kart 7, now in Mario Kart Tour. It has a good chance of coming back and starting to be one of those classics, and I think it's a beautiful track, and it just makes sense. Next up, I decided to put in one of our new ones, because one of these cups are going to have 2 new tracks, and I just threw in Piranha Plant Cove. It makes sense. It's one that we've known about for a very long time. I'm very surprised it wasn't last wave, considering the fact that we got PD Piranha as a character. So yeah, that's a little strange, but at the end of the day, it's coming. It's one of the few new tracks that we have left, and it would help us cover that last 3 new track list as one of the last new tracks. So for the last one, I have absolutely no clue. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, because there's 2 new tracks left, and one of those new tracks is codenamed DK, and a lot of people at first thought it was Donkey Kong and thought maybe it could even be Desert Kingdom, but it turns out it actually might be Dokkan, which is a new track that Nintendo just released, which is a pipe themed track, which allows you to go through all these different pipes, which we'll get into later. I think it's going to be in the next wave, but Either way, I just decided at this point we have no clue. We're sitting with absolutely no files, nothing to predict this last new track. It could be anything. Nintendo could surprise us with a Kirby themed track or some type of Mario Odyssey themed track. So I just said, you know what, the Sand Kingdom sounded cool. I'm throwing in the Sand Kingdom, even if it doesn't match the other assets. So yeah, Sand Kingdom, that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna drive through Toast Arena, or could you imagine if we had like a kingdom tour where we drove through like various different kingdoms and stuff from Mario Odyssey? That would be freaking amazing. I mean, that would just kind of make sense now that it seems like Nintendo and Mario's moving to this like kingdom aspect. Even Mario Wonder is introducing the Flower Kingdom, so like the Kingdom Circuit or something would be really cool. I'd be down for that. All right, and now to the Blue Shell Cup, the final cup of the game. We are going to go with the last tour city track. We had to predict this one as there are no files for what could be next. Now, this actually comes from SwiftJar on YouTube, as he had some predictions based on the cover art for Mario Kart Tour, that there were lots of other city tracks that looked like that were planned, even like an Oriental themed one. But what about Cairo? There are pyramids on the title cover of Mario Kart Tour, so maybe we could get Cairo in there, which would be really cool. Go around the pyramids and even around the Sphinx and stuff in Egypt. I think that would be a really nice one. We could get maybe Cape Town, Africa. We haven't gotten anything with Africa, or maybe even like an African savannah would be really cool. So there still are options. I'm going the desert, I'm going the pyramids, I'm going Cairo. And for our last GameCube track, coming in at number 2 on the final cup, we have Mushroom Bridge. I am a huge Mushroom Bridge fan, and I feel like Nintendo likes tracks like these that kind of still represent the city. I never thought Moonview Highway would get in from Mario Kart Wii after all the city tracks we have in like New York Minute, so like why in the world would they put that in there? But you know what, it just shows that Nintendo still likes the city tracks. It makes sense to them. I think Mushroom Bridge just makes sense for, you know, Double Dash. I think it's a, you know, fan favorite classic as well. I really like it. I know a lot of people also really like it. It just makes sense. It's in tour as well. Go ahead, throw that in there as the last GameCube track. Don't forget, we have a SNES track left, one more, and I'm going Vanilla Lake. There's advertisements all over Mario Kart right now with Vanilla Lake being advertised. We don't have kind of a snow themed track to end this, especially since this is going to be towards the winter time, the end of the fall. So this obviously just lines up. Now, what other options do we have? Well, you could get Koopa Troopa Beach. Ghost Valley is probably not going to happen since we got Boo Lake, and we could have a Bowser's Castle or maybe even a Choco Island, but we do have Choco Mountain, so yeah, odds are it's going to be Vanilla Lake or Koopa Troopa Beach. I'm going Vanilla Lake. It makes sense. It's a track that's been advertised, and we don't have a snow track to end this. And I don't know how they're going to up this. I hope they change it, but based on the fact that it is in tour already in a basic form, I don't think it's going to change much. Probably going to be a lot like Mario Circuit 3 and Sunset Wilds, where it's just a basic classic throwback track, and that's fine. I don't have problems with those. I think the only other thing is it kind of matches the aesthetic and feel of Snowland, so yeah, that might be a little issue, but at the same time, I really feel like it's going to be Vanilla Lake. I'm throwing all my coins in there, Vanilla Lake. And that final new track that I was talking about earlier with the file name of DK is going to reference Piranha Plant Pipeline, which is a brand new track that Nintendo just revealed for Mario Kart Tour, and apparently the Japanese description is Doken. That's the kind of file name for it, and apparently it's supposed to be a scrapped course that was on Mario Kart DS that they just couldn't actually implement, which had tons of tunnels and stuff that we went through, and apparently this is it. So this is probably going to be that rumored track. Now the problem is we have so many tracks that are like this already. We're gonna have Piranha Plant Cove, we already have, you know, Piranha Plant Slide, you know, there's tons of pipe themed tracks that we have already. This is a weird choice in my opinion. I feel like there should be a different track, but at the same time, if it is, it's probably not going to be paired up with Piranha Plant Cove. That's why I put them on separate sides of the cups. But with that said, that probably is our last track, and it looks cool. It looks like we'll be going through tons of different pipe tunnels and stuff, and there's things in the tunnels to get us. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty cool, and that's probably going to be the last one to finish this off, guys. Now, of course, real quick, I want to bring this up because a lot of people are battling. There is a chance that that final track in the final final cup could be Rainbow Road, and people are saying that there's still a chance because it was already planned and there could be one more Wii track. I don't really know. Right now it just doesn't match up with what's left, and I feel like Wii tracks are probably done by now. There's like a battle online of half the people saying that no, it's going to happen, half the people saying no, it won't happen. I'm just like, please get your expectations in check. Please do not go into this final wave expecting Mario Kart Wii's Rainbow Road at the end, because if it doesn't happen, people are going to riot, okay? Just be excited. If it comes, be prepared for a letdown. That's how I always view things. Do not expect us to be here, because right now it just doesn't match up with the files left. So yeah, I just thought I'd put it out there. I know I'm going to get thousands of comments talking about Mario Kart Wii's Rainbow Road, but yeah. Real quick, I thought I would also throw out the two characters. I made a whole video on this in case you guys didn't see it, but my final predictions were it was going to be between Pauline, Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Hammer Bro, and King Bob-omb. But I definitely think the two is going to be Pauline and Diddy Kong. It makes sense. Pauline just keeps appearing. She's literally in the new trailer for the new track in Mario Kart Tour. Pauline is everywhere. Pauline is happening. I would be shocked to the core if she didn't happen. And I think it's going to finish with a Kong. Either Funky or Diddy. I am going Diddy Kong. So Pauline and Diddy Kong are probably your final two characters. If you want to see the whole video of me discussing what those characters could be and why I picked some of these characters, go ahead and click the title card up above and you could check that out and see why I picked some of these characters to be in. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know what your predictions are and what you thought of my predictions. Do you think any of these are right? Any of these are wrong? What are the new city tracks and what are the new nitro tracks? Let me know in the comments down below, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe. It'll only take a second to help support, and you can see more Mario Kart videos like this. But thank you so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.